I think a lot about how I'm affecting people in the here and now. Like, to me, I'm like so much more interested in like now. I left home when I was 17, you know, so I have always driven myself towards my work and felt like it was the most important thing in my life. I'm suddenly leveling up like love and my relationships and my home, and sort of realizing that those things are just as important, if not more.
My creative rhythms, that's a nice question. It kind of depends on what I'm working on. Usually it's sort of, you know, sometimes it can be a lot of research, and that can involve finding music that either relates to the character or makes me kind of take me back to a certain era of the character. I am very luckily wearing a very beautiful Chanel top and skirt. I also got to see this show. It was the cruise show in Marseille, and I got to see this walk down the runway. I am obsessing over being home.
I've tried to be the kind of person that's like, wake up 7, write for 3 hours, start your day. And I was that person for about 3 days, and then I'm really, unless somebody is forcing me into a routine, it's not going to happen. Which is why I think being an actor as opposed to a writer, acting's great. Somebody's like, be here this time, leave this time, but writing, you have to do all that yourself. Writing is kind of, feels like this whole new world that's just cracked open for me, because I just never thought I would do it, and now I am, and I'm like, uh-oh, I like it so much.
I think at the moment, truth and honesty in people's work is really important to me, and in exchanges and interactions. Sometimes I think about what I want my legacy to be, and I don't think it needs to be monumental. I think that we all affect small changes in other people's lives, and I think it's important to be doing that all the time. I am wearing a beautiful Hermes sweater designed by Veronique Nichion from the Fall/Winter 24 collection.
It has blurts again. Okay, what promise? To show up. Yeah, even when it's really, really difficult and I don't want to. Accessibility is super important to me in arts. I think everyone has the right to be a part of dance or be involved in the arts or experience art, and I think it's just so important that we as artists and creators aim to make art as accessible as possible. I'm wearing Prada. Head to toe in Prada, I love it. Yeah.
I have a new kind of goal or a new thing that I'd like to focus on, which is to celebrate. I feel like every time something good happens, I just kind of, okay, next thing, you know. My creative rhythm's pretty frenetic, it's pretty all over the place. I find the more that I interact with culture, the more creative I feel.
One of the greatest takeaways for me of my creative life is just the feelings of joy and elation you get when you're working with really creative people and in a team that really kind of gels, and then something kind of magic happens and you're all doing it together and it's kind of buoyant. Yeah. I'm wearing a beautiful kind of safari jacket from Max Mara. These beautiful tassel details. I'm feeling very free, you know, movement-wise, but I also feel very chic and also luxurious and effortless, yeah. I think like any creative person or any human being, I'm always looking for flow. I need to be in that flow state, but it takes a lot to get there, no? And sometimes I can pin it down and do certain things to get there, but then, you know, going for a walk or getting a massage or something, but sometimes it just happens randomly. I'll be at home or sometimes sleeping, and then, you know, a dream idea or something will come to me. Yeah, so I don't know, it's a strange thing to be hunting.
I'm just feeling that time is kind of going faster as I age. Yeah, wait, what was the question again? Managing time and really being productive with my time, that's, I feel, is important for me at the moment. Well, I'm wearing Giorgio Armani and my watch is an IWC watch. It makes me feel very smart and very chic. Yeah. I guess, yeah, like music-wise, I've been listening to a lot of like African electronic music, mainly gong, which is based in Durban, South Africa.
What feels most important to me right now is probably shining light to stories and voices that haven't yet been heard before. I feel like I'm most creatively inspired when I have time to sit still and I have time to just be a little bored. I think one of the most valuable lessons I learnt in acting school was to be able to give myself time to daydream. I think that's when a lot of information sort of comes in. I'm wearing a full look by Ralph Lauren. I feel so good. I just came back from Montana and I'm really into ranch life, so I feel like it's kind of giving a bit of that. I'm a horse girl now, so yeah.
For me, my career, it's taken me everywhere. I can't put a finger on one thing, but I'm just grateful to be where I am and to have the outlets to express myself the way I can. But I've always got a creative mind. It's always ticking, it's always working, so I'm pretty lucky in that regard. This watch is special. It's a collab I did with Longines. Yeah, they came in, I think, yellow, blue, green and black. They're really fun to wear and they look beautiful. So.
Is there anything that feels important to you now more than ever, like personally or professionally?
Just keeping my peace. Simply, just peace. Yeah. I'm wearing my own work today. It kind of just has gravitated from the codes that exist in ballet. Continue staying vision focused with being open to risk and possibility.
What feels most important to me now more than ever is quite a few things actually. Culture, family, artistry, creativity. I'm obsessed with anything at the moment. Like, I'm trying to think, roller skating. I'm obsessed with roller skating. I have such a deep connection with nature. It's a really big part of my culture and my heritage. And so the fact that pearls come from the ocean, from such a natural process, and they're so precious to me.
You know, I think nowadays it's so easy to get caught up in being distracted or, you know, filling yourself up with, you know, bullshit content or, you know, people around you or, you know what I mean, whatever you know, take in, I think is very important.
I'm wearing Barry. It's very comfortable. I've worn them a couple times actually, and yeah, I'm really happy to wear it for one. I'm very privileged.
You know, maybe doing my first film and just having like a moment where I forgot I was even working, to be honest. Yeah, I remember just realizing that, you know, that was kind of a reminder for me that you know, what I was doing was more than just a job and that I was actually enjoying whatever I was doing, you know what I mean?
I've been through phases where I try to be quite regimented in my work days because I think being creative, you can be quite chaotic. So there have been phases of my life where I'll try to work 9 to 5 weekdays, but then I also have phases where it's not that productive, and I think I try to be okay with that because you can't always be creative 8 hours a day every day. But I've been making a feature film and the experience was so magical and crazy that it has made me believe in some kind of greater power.
For me right now, what feels really important is to align my physical self with my mental self, but also my moral. So keeping everything in alignment to myself. Basically what I realized was I was having all these like thoughts in my head all the time and I just couldn't quiet them down. And being a person that was kind of always like bouncing off walls, that being able to meditate and just observe my thoughts was able to make me really feel kind of at peace. Yeah. I am wearing Dior, as you can see, and it's beautiful. It makes me feel really feminine, but also very powerful.
What feels important to me right now is ideas of like repair and return, of care and collaboration, of how to be a good guest on this land. And just thinking about like how to constantly use my work, whether explicitly or implicitly, towards justice. I think as a creative, when you're putting things out into the world, there is intentionality behind that. What I want people to take from my work and what I want that legacy to be is that like the worst can happen to you and also the best can happen to you.
I want to promise to be really connected with my body. I think our bodies and our creative minds are so intertwined, and I think being pregnant, I'm becoming more hyper aware of that. So I just want to treat that with like a gentleness and a respect. What feels important to me now more than ever is an honesty in self. I think we have so much information at us all the time, and I think it can be challenging to kind of find your own path. And I think that's the most powerful and attractive thing you can do as a person, is just be really honestly yourself, no matter what that is. It doesn't matter.
I think what stands out for me with creative memories is there's certain scenes when you're on set and then everyone kind of like syncs up at the same time, and then it's almost like you're all on the same wavelength, at the exact same time, and I kind of really love those memories. That and the last song that I listened to, great song that I listened to, is not a great song, but I guess I've been listening to the Royal Lotus album a lot, so I feel like everyone in Australia is at the moment. What am I? I don't actually know where this is from. Where is this from? Do you know? Today I'm wearing Cartier jewelry. There's this watch here and the earrings as well. And this one's mine actually. The rest I have to give back, unfortunately.
What feels important to me now more than ever is like using our voices as artists and as creatives to make this world a better place. I think for a very long time, creativity, or in recent years, has been a lot about like clout and about, you know, achieving for ourselves. But I think with everything that's happening in the world today, I think our roles as artists, as creatives, as Tony Cade Bambara says, the role of the artist is to make the revolution irresistible. Yeah. I think the legacy that I'd like to leave behind is a message of loving yourself, loving your body, caring for your body, and doing so like not just like as a selfish thing or as a thing for like just ourselves, but as a way that, you know, when we care for ourselves and when we love ourselves, that way we can show up for others, we can show up for community, and we can collectively, you know, make change. Yeah, I'm wearing Tiffany & Co. necklace and earrings.
So one of my friends, Rita, actually said something really pertinent to me that has stuck with me, which is like when I go through, sometimes, you know, when you go through periods of not feeling creative, you feel frustrated. And she described that to me as actually a time of being in a chrysalis, and you need those periods in order to then be creative. Like you need the periods of absorbing and not doing anything in order to create beautiful work. So I now don't really think about my rhythm so much anymore, because I actually see those moments of pause as necessary for creativity and as part of the process of creativity themselves. So I think of myself as being creative all the time now, because even when I think I'm reading or watching movies, I'm absorbing to then put out, you know? I do think about dying and what I would like my friends to say about me, and I think a friend gave me a compliment once that has always stuck with me, which is that I'm the kind of person who like brings people together who wouldn't otherwise meet, and I really love introducing people to each other and kind of being the reason that people become friends, and I like people to solidify their connections to each other. So I think if people saw a legacy of me as introducing them to other people that they love, that's something that I would really appreciate. Yeah. I know, I can't believe you've been around for 20 years, crazy. Yeah.